Okay, by the time you all see this, it will be the start of the week for the Alabama-Florida State game, and I'm getting more and more excited as it come along. Uh, Today, I'm going to give you the last quarter of the Florida State-Michigan Orange Bowl 2016 game to finish up my analysis of that game and just kind of get some points about Florida State that can maybe give us some information about this season. We'll find out. But anyway, let's get into this fourth quarter. Now, Florida State opens this quarter with a four wide receiver set. Um, I rewinded this play so many times to laugh at Cole Minshew. Cole Minshew's inability to slow down Maurice Hurst down at all. Maurice Hurst just went right by him. If you want to laugh, go look at the first play of the fourth quarter of this game. Hurst went right by him to sack Francois. Hurst knocked Minshew's hands away. And the rest of the line, actually, for Florida State did all right, but Minshew got his butt kicked on this play. I realized throughout this game slowly, Cole Minshew really does have trouble using his hands well and stopping the defensive line for knocking his hands down and getting to the defensive lineman's pad level. He does a bad job of just using his hands well. At least he did in this game. I don't know how much he's improved over the summer. I don't know if that was just, a game against Maurice Hurst and a few of these others, and maybe he did well throughout the rest of the season. But in this game, he had trouble. Now, and Florida State fans, you can let me know if that was the case or not. Like, was this consistent? Or is this just one of his worst games? At the 14-minute, 17-second mark, they go back to the two tight end set. In my opinion, that was smart. They did a shotgun sweep left with excellent blocking, and they outflanked the defense to the left. Oh, man. And this play, Dalvin Cook gets a very long run down the sideline. Charlton was put on his butt. Taco Charlton, he got put on his butt on this block here on the edge by Wilson Bell. He did a great job from the right guard spot as Wilson Bell pulled, and the tight end also from the right side. So the right guard, Wilson Bell, and the tight end from the right side both pulled, and they went around, and Cook did a good job of running it through the first contact, and then he just kept going. So very nice play, nicely designed, nicely blocked. Good job of using your talent, Dalvin Cook, on that play. Now, at the 13-minute, 36-second mark, it was the same formation, but this time they put in Jock Patrick in there. And this time, it was actually a QB sweep to the right. So they're trying to throw him off here, mix up the plays and get something going here. And they actually got a good gain. So they're kind of throwing the Michigan defense off here. Now, the 12-minute, 30-second mark, like I said, they're keeping this formation. It's working for them. It's the same formation. And it was an inside run for Jock Patrick this time. And it was a mashup of bodies right there on the line of scrimmage. Both teams actually fought really well on this particular play. So it was like not one team getting dominated. They both just kind of went at it. So this is a good example of some tough physical football right here. They fought well at that play. That was at the 12-minute, 30-second mark. Now, at the 11-minute, 45-second mark, it was the same formation again. So they really like this. But they went back to the shotgun version of it, the one that Dalvin Cook just had a long run on. They did a QB sweep left this time. So they did a QB sweep right. Last time they were doing a QB sweep left, and it was well blocked. Francois ran through contact for a touchdown. So that play, that drive, they started that 4 wide receiver set, and they said, okay, you know what? Forget it. Let's just run the ball. They ran the ball just all the way down the field and scored a touchdown. If I'm not mistaken, that was 4 runs in a row after that initial pass blocking just collapsed on it. Now, at the 11-minute, 33-second mark, Florida State has that 3-4 look on defense. Now that Michigan has the ball back, they have that 3-4 look on defense. But they have Trey Marshall up on the line of scrimmage as well. So this is really interesting. He blitzes here. And Michigan's two tight end formation with the fullback blocked the interior pretty well, though. So they actually got a pretty good job of blocking the interior, even with the blitz here. And the running back hit the hole and got the first. So they actually did a good job blocking here and hit it. At the 11-minute, 15-second mark, Derek Nottie got past the left guard before he could seal him off here. So the left tackle moved back to to pull to the other side, to pull for a block, going to a run for the right side. Left guard here missed Derek Nottie, or should I say Derek Nottie just went right by him. He was too quick. I mean, I can't imagine saying that about a nose tackle. He was too quick. That's amazing. He couldn't seal him off. Usually on these type of plays, the backside, the weak side of the line tries to seal off the defensive line who are rushing, just kind of get them going another direction. But before he could even try to do that, Nottie was already running past him. So that was actually pretty cool to see. That disruption caused the running back to cut early, and he lost his balance. So the Michigan running back lost his balance because of that play. Now, at the 10-minute, 38-second mark, the pass protection was really solid for Michigan. There was no rush, but DeMarcus Christmas actually got a hand up and batted the ball. So it was really good awareness by Christmas on this play because he knew he was going to get to the quarterback. Nobody on their line was getting to the quarterback on this play. Michigan actually blocked really well, so he just kind of stretched out a little bit and got his hand on the ball. That's what they teach you to do. Next play was 3rd and long for Michigan. It was 3rd and long here, so they had Brian Burns rush, and he went long on a loop. So he was working against the right tackle here. He was the left defensive end. He went that looping kind of pattern to get around the tackle using speed. But then I laughed here because I said DeMarcus Walker used karate on the right guard to shed the block. It was just funny because his hand movement, DeMarcus Walker's usage of his hands is pretty good. He got into the right guard and just kind of flipped him over a little bit with his hands and was able to go right around and roll through him. And so Spate was dealing with Walker now, and he had to deal with Burns on the loop. And because of Burns' loop, Spate had to step up. But because he had to step up, DeMarcus Walker was beating the right guard with his karate moves, and he ended up sacking Spate. So that was pretty cool just to see the teamwork there. That shows you why you need more than just one good pass rusher to affect the quarterback. If the quarterback can just slide in the pocket and get past the guy, and there's nobody else to produce pressure, he can just do whatever he wants. Let's see, where am I going next? First play of the next FSU drive, because Michigan had to punt here at the 9-minute, 39-second mark. They tried to run from the I formation, but it was stuffed by the Michigan front. The Michigan front just kind of held up there. 9-minute mark, they tried another QB run sweep left, so they're trying to go back to their bread and butter here. Michigan got it this time. They were on top of it. They're like, we're not going to let you do this again. At the 8-minute, 15-second mark, Michigan sent a blitz on a play action pass, and it was perfect because on a play action pass, you need time for the play action to develop. And because there was a blitz coming, while the play was developing, the rushers were already getting there. This led to, of course, some pressure and an incomplete pass by Francois, as it ended up being a hard hit on him as well. So, good defensive play calling here by Don Brown. So, FSU had to punt because they did not get a first down. And as the Michigan returner catches the punt, Florida State fans are going to be mad about this one because this is the play that caused Trey Marshall to miss this Alabama game's first half. Trey Marshall was out of this game because of a targeting call that he received right here when he drilled the punt returner when he caught the ball. Now, in Trey Marshall's defense, I didn't see the guy call for a fair catching. So, and although they give the punt returner like a little leeway in terms of being a defensive player, because the punt returner is a defensive player, even when they don't call fair catch, they have to catch the ball and they need that few seconds to kind of catch the ball and get themselves and then run. In that moment, they are defenseless and helpless. But it's a really, really, really gray area. Because how much time do you give them to not be defenseless? They get like a couple seconds or something like that. It's really weird how they officiate it. And that's why a lot of Florida State fans says it's questionable. So he didn't give a fair catch signal, so he was going to be a runner. The tackle was a bit high. His helmet did hit the guy's helmet, so you can't dispute that. And honestly, whenever a helmet hits a helmet, they can call targeting. It can happen. And sometimes it's up to whether the official is going to call it or not. But like I said, I'm not sure if I was a referee, if I would call this targeting. Because when you hear the word targeting, it implies that you have this intent to do harm, like serious harm. You intent to like hurt their head or something like that. I'm not quite so sure that's what Trey Marshall was trying to do. Now, Trey Marshall may have been trying to deliver a punishing hit, And honestly, some may say, well, that's also one of the reasons why they implement the targeting rule to stop players from producing punishing hits unnecessarily. Whether or not you believe that should be the case or not, that's neither here nor there because this is just about the rule the way it is. But like I said, he did tackle a bit high. It was helmet-to-helmet contact. He did lower his head a little bit. I watched it a few times, actually. I watched it a lot of times, just going back and forth. He lowered his head a little bit. He tackled a bit high. So they can call that targeting, but I'm not quite so sure if he was actually trying to hurt this guy, which can be a really tough call for targeting. Targeting is really, really tough in college football. It's a hard call to make. The returner is protected for a bit after the returner makes the catch, he is protected for just a little bit of time, but it's such a gray area. How do you do that? So unfortunately for Trey Marshall, he will miss the first half of the Alabama game because of this play. Uh, anyway, we'll continue on from here. At the 7-minute 58-second mark on the ensuing Michigan drive, the play action pass had this is Michigan's first play had excellent pass protection here. And I said excellent. I underlined it because this is probably one of the better jobs that he did all game long against the Florida State front. No rush at all against Spate. So Spate steps up and he throws to the right. And he throws to the right guy, but the ball placement was off. He threw the ball too far behind Darboh. Just too far behind Darboh. And Tavares McFadden, he basically had an interception in his hands. If Darboh didn't have such good hands on this play, it would have been an interception. Darboh kind of reached back and took the ball from Tavares McFadden. He has some strong, good hands here. It was just Spate should work on that because that play should have honestly been an interception return for a touchdown. If anything, it looked like it was going for McFadden. It looked like McFadden was running the route and the DB was Darboh overrunning the play. That's just how far behind it was. It It wasn't so far behind as to like the receiver had no chance to catch it, but it was far enough behind where the receiver had to stop his momentum to contort his body back to catch the ball. That is a badly placed ball. And Tavares McFadden could have had an interception there. Now, at the 7-minute 30-second mark, a sweep left by Michigan was negated by the FSU front. Number 18 for Derek Hoskins again was there again for the tackle for loss. This guy is a monster tackling ball carriers behind the line of scrimmage. 6-minute 49-second mark. They had that 3-4 set again. Noddy runs the what do I say here? What did I say? I don't know what I was trying to say. Oh, here it is. Derek Noddy runs the center over to hit Spate. I mean, he just ran the center over. Center stood no chance. I feel bad for the Michigan center on this play. Just ran him over. It's a 6-minute 49-second mark. Also, Pugh was close to a sack as well as he was working on the right tackle. So it was kind of pushing around. Spate got off the pass, though, but it was a bad back foot pass to the end zone. He got off the pass, it was just off his back foot for Darboh. And the ball was so low and short that Darboh had to dive for it. So this is the second time he's just really underthrowing Darboh here. And this throw caused an incompletion. And honestly, I don't know. In the midst of this play, Darboh was too open. I don't know why he was this open. But I don't know what McFadden was doing because McFadden was covering him man-to-man when the play started. He looked lost, or should I say, he may have been expecting. Either he was lost and he didn't know what he was doing, or he was expecting A.J. Westbrook, who was the free safety on this play, to take away the post route. So the receiver ran the post route or skinny post or something like this, basically like 10 yards up the field and cut in toward the end zone. McFadden was on the outside of the DB, the outside of the receiver when the receiver had cut in. He was a little far off actually, so I was like, okay, so he's supposed to be closer for one thing, but also why is he playing outside leverage? And if he's playing outside leverage, I'm assuming A.J. Westbrook was supposed to step up and get in the way of that post, which he didn't. He kind of let the receiver work his way into the end zone, and the ball was thrown badly, but if he had thrown correctly, it probably would have been a touchdown. And A.J. Westbrook didn't take away the post route. And honestly, it could have been that A.J. Westbrook was supposed to play over the top or to the outside, and McFadden was supposed to play inside and he just didn't. Either way, somebody messed up on this play. It just didn't cost Florida State anything. They got away with Spate throwing a bad pass. So good break for them. The next play though, it was solid protection for Spate as he hits the wide receiver on a dig post, I guess. I don't know what to call it. It's like kind of a dig in or dig out for the first down. It was a good throw against very tight coverage. And so I'm looking at my notes. They're really hard to see on this page because I don't know. I guess I'm just scaled on the page. But it was a good throw against some very tight coverage here. The defensive back, was right there. Spate actually kind of showed off one of his better throws of the night in this case. The guy was like right on top of his receiver. I'm like, so you save these type of throws from now, but you just had a touchdown 2 plays ago. Either way, 6-minute 14-second mark. Spate had a man, but I think the pressure caused him to fire errantly. So the pressure is still getting into Spate. He's been struggling. Next play was an inside run negated because the right guard was smashed by DeMarcus Walker. So the next play after that play, DeMarcus Walker just killing the right guard again. The Michigan right guard, somebody give that man a hug. I said that in the last video. I'm saying it again. The 5-minute 31-second mark, it's pretty good protection, except for Josh Sweat getting the bend. He kind of bent and got around the left tackle. But Spate got the ball out before Josh Sweat could get there. And it was a touchdown to the tight end. So good pass protection there. 5-minute 22-second mark, Florida State's back on the ball. Cole Minshew is beaten easily again. He's not using his hands well. Francois has to rush the throw to the hitch route for Rudolph. He missed it inside again, so this is dangerous. I told you Francois has this habit of when he's pressured and he has a short hitch route to throw as his outlet, he'll just fling the ball out there and it'll be to the inside of the receiver and it'll be low. And that's dangerous. The defensive back, all you have to do is change the trajectory of his backpedaling of his feet, and he can just run right in front of the ball and intercept it, possibly return it for a touchdown. That throw has to be, if you're going to throw it, as an outlet, high and outside so that nobody can get it except your receiver. It has to be. Francois cannot do that, especially not against Alabama. Now, the next play is the 5-minute 14-second mark. They go back to that two-tech, that two tight end, I should say. That two tight end slash H-back like deal formation that they like to do with the shotgun formation. So the shotgun form of that two tight end formation. They run the sweep right to Cook, but it was completely negated. So Michigan seems to have kind of caught on. They're like, we're not going to let you keep running this shotgun play on us. Michigan was ready. So at the 4-minute 32-second mark, the line held up enough for Francois to throw downfield. He had Keith Gavin on a go route, one-on-one with Jordan Lewis. And unfortunately for Francois, the ball was underthrown and it was poorly placed. So Francois had his little struggles throwing in this game. Gavin had to slow down his stride and jump. And when your receiver has to slow down his stride and jump, that means the ball did not go out far enough in front of him. Gavin should not have to do that. The ball was placed inside as well. And as I keep saying, when you throw the ball down the field toward the sideline, you need to throw it up the field and to the sideline so that only your receiver can get a chance to catch the ball. He can catch the ball overhead and keep running with the ball. Unfortunately for Francois, the ball was underthrown and inside. That is a recipe for an interception. Unfortunately, it was not an interception. And honestly, Gavin probably still could have caught this ball if it wasn't inside. So even though he had to slow down and jump, if it had been outside, he probably could have still caught it. But because it was a little bit inside, Jordan Lewis was able to get the pass breakup. He stuck his hand. Jordan Lewis is really good at getting his hands up to get the ball. I wish Marlon Humphrey would do that when he was at Alabama, by the way. And so 3 and out for Florida State. Michigan got the ball back here, and they tried to do a halfback draw on that first play, the 4-minute 14-second mark, and it got nowhere. It was just nowhere for them to go. So the 3-minute 54-second mark is good pass protection for space. So at this point in the game, I noticed that Florida State basically was wearing down on defense. And from the last drive and this drive, Michigan spent the whole half of the third quarter with the ball and more because Florida State went 3 and out a couple times. It They finally wore down and they were able to get pass protection and open up some holes here toward the end of the game. So 3 minute 54 second mark is good pass protection for Spate. And the short route helped to get the ball out, for a quick 5 yards. So not only are they wearing down, but they're hitting them with these quick plays and trying to hurry up and run the ball or run some more plays. And that's the recipe for getting your defense tired. Now, 3 minute 20 second mark, they held up well again, and Spate stepped up in the pocket as Sweat and Burns rushed up the field. So they made a nice pocket for him, and Spate did the good, calm thing, which is step up. Then he just took off and ran for the first down. So that was a smart play by him. Noddy and Christmas were just too tired to pursue. You can actually watch Derek Noddy trying to chase him. Go look at this play. You can watch Derek Noddy trying to chase him, and he can't. He looks tired and gassed. That's a 3 minute 20 second mark. Now, at the 2 minute 49 second mark of the game, they try an inside run from the shotgun formation. They take a Florida State play here, and it actually worked. The Florida State defense is tired. I put that exclamation point on this point. They all got washed down. So, when the offensive linemen they would get pushed and just move guys down, that's exactly what happened. The Florida State defensive line got washed down, and there was a nice big hole for the Michigan running back. 9 yard gain here. 2 minute 9 seconds left. A handoff to Evans, number 12, the Michigan freshman running back. He's a really talented, fast guy. They just hand the ball up to him on the inside play, and the offensive line of Michigan wins again on the FSU front. They're tired, I keep telling you. And he gets the right sideline, and he broke a tackle for a long touchdown. Michigan now has made this game very, 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 very close. And this time, they actually go for the 2 point conversion, and they get it. And it was way too easy as the Florida State defensive back Carlos Becker didn't get a jam at all on Darbo. Darbo ran the easiest, little short out route I've ever seen for a 2 point conversion because Carlos Becker just barely got a hand on him. The FSU fans, they know what's coming next on this play because it was the kickoff return after Michigan has now taken a lead here. And, well, actually, it's not a lead. Michigan tied it up here. That's what it was. Was it a tie? Yeah, it was a tie. Michigan tied it up here. And so they got a kickoff return, Florida State did. Keith Gavin made quite the play. He was hesitant, but he decided last minute to take it. It was kind of weird to see the exchange. If you want to go look at this play, just go look at this kickoff return. Keith Gavin kind of caught the ball, and he was like, should I run? And then the guy next to him was Kermit Whitfield was like, go. And then Kermit was like, okay, never mind, you're hesitating, don't go. Then Keith Gavin was like, okay, wait, I'll just go. And it was so weird. And he took off, and Kermit Whitfield was like, no, what are you doing? But Keith Gavin ran anyway. Ran a Michigan guy over like he was a running back. Keith Gavin laid the shoulder down. That guy just went on his back. Keith Gavin kept going. I was impressed on that play. He just proceeded to burst past the rest of the Michigan line there before he was finally pulled down by Jordan Lewis, well past midfield, I think on the 35-yard line or something like that. So, great play. Great play. Now, the 1 minute 45-second mark, the first down screen pass to Dalvin Cook, a really, really smart call by Michigan. It gets a really big gain. And honestly, like I said, it was a great call because Michigan front had been beating the Florida State offensive line. So Jimbo Fisher and the offensive coordinator are like, let's negate the rush by throwing a screen. We'll slow them down a little bit. Now, the 1 minute 25-second mark, pass protection holds up really well, but there's no separation for the wide receivers. So Florida State here, they're trying to get the balls to the receivers, but the receivers can't get open. Francois just throws it out of the end zone. Now, the 1 minute 14-second mark, it's a QB sweep right for a yard. So now it's 3rd and 9, and FSU's like, you know what? We're going for the win. We're not going to kick a field goal. Oh, wait. I was wrong earlier. I was wrong. I remember now. Michigan did go up to lead. They were up 30-27. It wasn't tied at 27. They were up 30-27. So, yeah, Florida State's like here, we're going for the win. We're not going to kick no field goal and go overtime. So they had great protection here on this 3rd and 9. Michigan front, they must be tired as well at this point because they don't seem to be really getting much push anymore. And they finally wore down. Nyquan Murray, 1-on-1. with Jordan Lewis going into the end zone here. Francois finally saved some of his best ball placement for this throw, the last throw he needs to make. It was more toward the left sideline, outside shoulder, rather than to the inside. It was also high enough for Lewis to not get a hand on it, even though he was there. And Michael Murray was able to jump up and catch the ball in the end zone. Good job by Francois there. So that's one of the few times he actually put the ball placed well. Then FSU gets their PAT blocked. Yeah, it was really fun. They got the PAT blocked, which is horrible. That could have turned out really, really bad. That could have turned out really, really bad if this game didn't end the way it did. Michigan blocked it and returned it for the 2 points. So it ended up being 33-32. And Michigan's like, okay, we can get the ball, kick a field goal, we can win. So 31 seconds left in the game. Michigan starts their drive for the quick screen. It goes nowhere. Oh, actually, no. That was the second play of the drive. The first play of the drive was an incompletion of Darbo. Second play of the drive was a quick screen that went nowhere. Had to call timeout. Now, on third down, Brian Burns' rush got to Spate as he had to throw the ball early. It was actually a really nice spin move that he put on the right tackle. And so Michigan's just in trouble now. So it's the last Michigan play here, fourth quarter. In fourth quarter, fourth down. And it's fitting. It's just fitting that DeMarcus Walker beats the right guard handedly to force Spate to get rid of it. So the guy who's been killing the right guard all game, who's been having a field day, it's fitting that he causes Spate to throw incomplete or interception to end the game. Somebody give that right guard a hug. I said it again. Walker jumped the snap really, really well. That some of the commentator initially thought that it was offsides. I don't think it was offsides. I think he just timed the snap really well. Reminded me of Tim Williams actually. Michigan thought it was offsides. Jim Harbaugh was mad about it. The ball was tipped and picked by Carlos Becker. That ends the game. That is your Orange Bowl 2016. That's my analysis of Florida State in the Michigan game. Man, just it was a good game to watch. It was really interesting. It had little mistakes here and there. Things I'm going to take away from this game and something I'm going to look into for the game against Alabama for Florida State is one, how has DeAndre Francois down the field ball placement improved? Has it improved a ton? I saw in the spring game he impressed me with some of his throws. Of course, the offensive vanilla though, you don't see kind of what they choose to do or what plays they're going to choose to run. So I don't know how his ball placement is down the field necessarily outside of that spring game context. So we'll see. So I'm going to be interested to see that. Also, how does he respond to pressure this year? Is he going to throw to his outlet kind of recklessly like he was doing in this game? Or will he be more reserved and will he make smarter decisions that way? And to be fair to Francois, he only threw 7 picks last year, so it's not bad. But I just noticed that tendency to throw the outlet the way he did. Also, for the Florida State defensive line, who's going to replace DeMarcus Walker's production from that left end, right end, whatever spot he's going to be at? Can Josh Sweat or Brian Burns produce like DeMarcus Walker did? Will their hands be as good? Based on this game, they weren't the same as DeMarcus Walker. I mean, DeMarcus Walker really showed why he was like the leader of this defensive line. So it'll be interesting to see if they have taken that step forward. Can they be as disruptive as him, or can they, at least produce the same amount as him together? That'll be interesting. Man. Also, I had to go back and look at some more, but with the secondary, yeah, I'm interested to see how Tavares McFadden and Levante Taylor match up against Calvin Ridley and Robert Foster. Those are just some of the things I'm going to get into a little bit more as the week goes on and do my prediction, of course, on the Friday. But either way, thanks for paying attention. I'll see you for the next video. Leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite part about this game was. Let me know some of your favorite analysis, comments, or whatever it is about this game, or some things that maybe you thought that I missed. Leave it in the comments. See you for the next one.